Distinguished friends, as a representative of the Revolutionary Association of the Women of Afghanistan RAWA, I would first of all like to extend our sincere thanks to MLPD for highlighting the situation of Afghan women. The plight of Afghan women under jihadi fundamentalists and Taliban anti-fundamentalists defies comparison with any deplorable situation anywhere in the world. The war on terror is in fact a war against the people of Afghanistan. The US NATO troops have committed countless war crimes against defenseless people. Thousands of innocents were killed, while the destroyers and murderers were even further empowered. They dragged Afghanistan to the most corrupted and unsafe land, which is a prison for its women. They systematically changed Afghanistan to the center of the world drug mafia, and in the past few years, the cultivation and trafficking of drug is sky high, with more than 93% of the world's opium being produced in Afghanistan. The following is a message from women living in the depths of the most terrible inferno set by the indescribable criminals and traitors. This is a message from RAWA, an organization of women fighting for the emancipation of a country which for the past 4 decades has been living the living nightmare of women's life under Islamic fundamentalists of the Jihadi, Taliban, and most recently Daesh brands. And despite all tall claims to defend human rights and democratic values, a great number of powerful and influential countries, including the United States, have never desisted from helping these criminal fundamentalists. Now, due to the alignment of their imperialist interests, USA and NATO were once again successful to install its terrorist Taliban servants back to power and impose them on suffering Afghan people once again. The US puppets are pretending that women's achievements on the peace talks should never be wasted. However, by appointing several deeply reactionary fundamentalist-minded and even pro-Taliban means guarantee of women's rights from it is just a painful joke. The women like Habiba Sarabi, Fawzia Kufi, Nahid Farid, Shahzad Akbar, Fatima Gilani, Malala Shinwari, Jamila Afghani, Shagul Rezai, Maria Akrami, and several others who are part of the negotiation team are not true representatives of our oppressed women. So they will easily compromise with the Taliban. Today, when the Taliban are once again brought to power, the US will easily work with them and prefer their bloody and suffocating role of Afghanistan to an independent, pro-democracy and pro-women's rights government. Because the US counts on them as the most loyal group to safeguard its interests in the region. The Taliban also will not forget that the US was their creator, trainer, and mentor through Pakistan's ISI godfathers. RAWA was founded in 1977 by Meena and a group of freedom-loving women. Based inside Afghanistan, RAWA is an independent, all-volunteer, non-violent organization calling for multilateral disarmament and the establishment of a secular, democratic government in which women may once again participate fully in public life. However, it was the reality that in a poor and backward country like Afghanistan, our political struggle was impossible without social work among women. Currently, RAWA provides underground medical care and education, income-generating projects, and documentation of Taliban and other jihadis' atrocities, protests, demonstrations, and events, and other initiatives. Within unbelievably harsh organizational difficulties, RAWA members in Afghanistan have still managed to continue their work during many crises, the latest being the fall of Kabul, and we still remain there today. We are here to mark the celebration of 40 years of MLPD and the Eco Women's Conference in Germany. and to once again raise the rallying call that the road to salvation of the motherland and realization of women's rights in Afghanistan lies only in our resistance and irreconcilable struggle against the deceitful fundamentalists and their masters. It devolves upon all champions of liberty, democracy, women's rights, and all patriotic individuals and forces of all categories in our country to cast overboard all vestiges of conservatism and cowardice, and by taking serious practical steps, strive ever more bravely towards the formation of a united anti-fundamentalist front. Only thus can the star of liberty, peace, and democracy appear on the horizon of the future of our trampled homeland. The international community has for the most part remained a spectator to the multitude of atrocities committed in Afghanistan, and no country or world authority has undertaken any meaningful step against the fundamentalists and in the interest of ending the human rights tragedy in this country. The key to the emancipation of Afghanistan from the chains of fundamentalism lies in our united struggle. Our people now understand full well that lakeys like the jihadis and Taliban minions are nothing but power-craving prestiges of foreign powers whose only commitments are to their imperialist masters and could not care less about devastating Afghanistan and tearing it apart in their lust for power. As long as the curse of the fundamentalism lies on the land, Afghanistan can never be free. Liberty, unity, national sovereignty, and territorial integrity of the Afghan homeland is only conceivable when the abomination of fundamentalism has been eradicated, and the ending of the imperialist interference becomes possible through the annihilation of their chained mercenaries. We believe that women will be the forefronts in the struggle against Taliban, because naturally they are more victimized than men under the fascist Taliban rule. Women are imprisoned, and more importantly, they do not want their life for their own children. We see women on social media who are resisting against medieval age restrictions of the Taliban. They do not want to accept these restrictions without a fight and resistance. Down with Taliban terrorists. Long live the irreconcilable struggle of women against fundamentalism. Long live freedom and democracy. Thank you.